Let's talk about one of the most important aspects of our lives, income. Specifically, the paycheck that most of us rely on every single month. When you look at society and subtract the small group of business owners and the equally small group of people already living off passive income, what's left is the vast majority of us, people working for a paycheck. That paycheck determines our quality of life. It influences the career choices we make, the jobs we take, and those jobs consume a massive portion of our lives. And that's not even counting the indirect ways income shapes everything else. Family stability, how we raise our kids, our overall sense of security. So, yeah, income matters a lot. But here's what's interesting. When you actually stop and think about it, most people still don't have the right mental model for what a paycheck really is, or how to use it effectively. You might be thinking, what's so complicated about a paycheck? It's just the money you get at the end of the month. But that surface-level understanding is exactly what stops most people from ever questioning it, and from figuring out how to actually make it work for them. Kevin O'Leary once said, "A paycheck is a drug they give you to make you forget your dreams." Those dreams might be doing work you actually love, building something of your own, or simply living a life where you're not dependent on anyone else's decision to survive. And the way employers keep you hooked is by convincing you that the world outside is too risky. So, stay put. Do what you're told. Do it well. And they'll give you just enough to eat, pay rent, and come back Monday. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not dismissing the value of having a stable job. For a lot of people, that stability is everything, and that's completely valid. What I'm talking about is the person who already has that stability, who has real potential to go further, but keeps getting lulled back to sleep. Because honestly, it's not that different from animals in a circus. Perform the trick, get fed. Step out of line, get punished. And even if you perform perfectly, if the circus goes bankrupt, you're out on the street anyway. It doesn't matter how good you were. So, what's the way out? It starts with changing how you see your paycheck. Most people think of a salary as the safe, stable option. But a salary isn't stable at all. It's actually one of the riskiest financial positions you can be in, because your income depends entirely on your job. And your job depends on things completely outside your control. You could get laid off for breaking a rule you didn't know existed. Your company could go under. Or, and this happened to millions of people recently, the economy turns and your entire department gets cut. Not because you did anything wrong, just because. When your entire life runs on a single paycheck, you've handed control of your financial future to someone else. Your mood, your security, your options, all of it sits in someone else's hands. So, here's the mindset shift. Your salary is not a stable income. It's a temporary one. It could disappear at any moment, even if things are going well right now, especially if things are going well right now. Never forget that it can end without warning. And once you truly internalize that, your strategy changes automatically. Because if your income can vanish overnight, you stop treating it like a destination and start treating it like a tool. Specifically, a tool to build something that can't be taken away from you. That's passive income. Quick definitions. Active income is money you earn by trading your time and energy, your job, your freelance work, your side hustle. Passive income is money that keeps coming in whether you're working or not. Something you built once that keeps generating returns. The path forward is straightforward, even if it's not easy. You use your active income, your paycheck, to gradually build passive income streams on the side. Say you're a developer, you build an app, put it on the App Store, and now it generates revenue while you sleep. Maybe at first it's only $250 a month against a $5,000 salary. That's just 5%. But then it becomes 20%, then 30%, then 40%. And slowly, your dependence on that paycheck shrinks. Here's the rule I always come back to. Don't quit your job until your passive income is double your salary, not equal, double. In that example, that means waiting until the app brings in $10,000 a month before walking away from the $5,000 job. Why double? Because passive income streams fluctuate. You need the buffer. And even then, quitting isn't always the right move. Sometimes your job still gives you something valuable, mentorship, skill development, access to opportunities you can't replicate on your own. If that's the case, stay. But stay intentionally, not out of fear. The point isn't to quit. The point is to stop seeing your job as the goal. It's a stepping stone. The real goal is building assets that generate income on their own. That's the actual destination. Your job is just how you fund the journey. Most employers will never tell you this. They need you dependent. They need you to believe the world outside is too risky, too uncertain, too hard. Because the moment you build enough passive income to walk away, they lose their leverage over you. But here's the thing. The best working relationships aren't built on dependency. They're built on mutual value. The employers worth working for are the ones who actively want you to grow beyond them, who encourage you to build your own income streams, your own projects, your own financial foundation. Because they know that someone who stays out of choice works completely differently than someone who stays out of fear. And the data backs this up. When people are given the freedom to grow, many of them don't leave. They stay, but on completely different terms. Not because they have to, because they want to. That's the shift worth making. Not from employee to unemployed, from dependent to free. So, the next time you get your paycheck, don't just spend it. Ask yourself, what am I building with this? Because that question, asked consistently over time, is what separates people who retire early from people who are still waiting for the next direct deposit at 60.